So the next one we're going to talk about is the separation sensitivity, which is what I was saying comes from borderline personality disorder. Now, this is the one that might be particularly interested because a lot of people that get into social enterprises and things like that, a lot of people who've been victims of abuse, domestic violence and that sort of stuff, these are the sort of people that can be separation sensitive. One of the examples that I talk about with this, and I'm not saying that it all happens all the time, but think of the, you hear the horror stories of the manipulative mother-in-law or something like that sort of thing, that just doesn't know where the boundaries are. Okay, that's one of the cases that, it's not gender specific, male or female, but it does tend to be people that are abused and things like that can actually lose their sense of self. And that's where it comes into the borderline personality disorder. That's where it comes into the separation sensitivity. Okay, so we'll go through and explain what that is. Okay, so people known as separation sensitive are focused on keeping relationships very close, often feel threatened by the suggestion of difference. Okay, so fear of abandonment is known, and being known as the victim is strong. Okay, being known as the victim, not being a victim. Okay, so there's a difference between that. Okay, they might be, it might result in a willingness to sacrifice their own individual well-being to make a relationship work. Okay, so you can see how this is where people that get into social enterprises and things like that and are looking at causes, they just want to help. Okay, and that's fine, but it comes down to they tend to make decisions to keep people close. And then sometimes they're not financially the best decisions to make and everything there as well. And if they're giving away stuff and they're doing it for free, then they become known as the victim. Okay, so it plays into the sensitivity. Why do they do that? Well, that's one of the ways that they get people to help. Okay, so business owners are vulnerable to abuse, separation sensitive, because it does result in poor cash flow strategies, which is, again, that's why the social enterprises tend to fall into this category in a lot of cases. Okay, even they mightn't know they're doing it. Okay, so they give things away because they just want to help, and they do it to keep people close. Now, there's another thing that we can look at, and it's called codependence, and that's about if you're of no help to someone, you think that people are going to go away, and so to feel good about yourself, you need to be able to help him. But what these people do is they tend to have a solution for your problem. Okay, but where did the problem come from, and is it a problem, is the question you need to ask yourself. Okay, are they just are they just making your solution fit a problem? And it may not actually be that that's the actual problem for you. Okay, so the overall attachment theme, they're afraid of separation and they avoid distance. Okay, so that's why it's, literally separation sensitivity. Okay, so goal of primary defense, what they seek, to maintain closeness by being needy or being needed by others. Okay, so in a lot of cases, that's where you can see they can be seen as they need to help you, but if they keep helping you, are they actually helping you is the danger here. Okay, and then if you don't accept their help and everything else, or you don't pay them, then they become needy and they look at someone else coming in and saving them, and they basically can transfer relationships between people there as well. Okay, so what do they avoid? They avoid separations. Okay, so they're going to be a little bit clingy. Okay, and they also look at acting on their behalf. It's always that someone else does this, or but you want to do this, or you want to do that. Okay, the unwanted effect is from this separation sensitivity is aloneness and abandonedness. Okay, so even in a crowded room, they can still feel alone. And you can go to an event with them or something like that, networking, but you leave them alone and they feel abandoned. Okay, so it's the same sort of thing, but online it could be that you're not responding to their post. Did you read this? Did you read that? Okay, so they're vigilant too, availabilities of others and abandonment themselves. Okay, so you might have just gone to the toilet, but you didn't tell them. Okay, so this is where, but that's you've abandoned them. Okay, so then it's triggered it and off they go. Okay, so but it's also the availability of others. It can be, look, oh, just get back to me when, oh, I didn't want to bother you, and all this sort of stuff. Okay, so they're looking at making you more available or making it more comfortable for them to approach you. Okay, so the primary defense strategies, they can be clingy, dependency, okay, helplessness, they're compliant, oh yeah, I'll just do whatever you say. Hyperactivation of needs, okay, so they're just going to keep pushing that little hot button. because that's what they know is going to get you talking to them. So their defensive decision, okay, this is what's going on in their head. If I focus on what's in my best interest in the relationship, I'll be abandoned. Separation is not safe for them, remember? Okay, so that's where they go. They tend to be seen as overly selfless. Okay, now there's a thing, you know, when you get on the airline, they say you've got to put your oxygen mask on first before you can help others. They need to be in a position to help others. Separation sensitive people may not be in a position to actually help, but they're going to do it anyway. Okay, but it's a detriment to them, and it's not a sustainable thing for them to do. Okay, so this is why they can be disappointing. I mean, they genuinely want to help, they just can't help. Or they'll try and help you and they're not actually helping you. They could actually be making things harder for you, because you've got to give attention to them when it could be diverting you from other stuff. And they particularly draw people away from the core need of what they do, because the separation sensitive will pull you back over to what their strengths are, not what your strengths are. Okay, because that's where they can help. If you show weakness, then they can come in and help you. And that's what they're trying to do. So if you want to focus on your weaknesses and overcome your weaknesses, that's where it comes into, what do you want to double? Do you want to double $50 or do you want to double $10? If you're focusing on doubling the $50, which is your strengths, then it becomes more cost effective, and you can work on doubling the $10 later when you can afford to. Okay, so that's the thing with social enterprises. You need to be either not looking at overcoming your weakness at the expense of going onto your strengths. You need to be able to get into a position where you can afford it, and that's why separation sensitive tend to make poor cash flow decisions. Okay, others representative of this is what they see. They want other people to see them as the white knight. Okay, source of warmth, acceptance, powerful, and the rescuer. Okay, that's how they see what they're doing. That's what they're trying to get other people to think of them. Okay, the negative one, when they're in the negative mindset, okay, they feel they're abandoning, they're withholding, they're harsh, they're punitive. You know, tough love. Okay, they're unfair, they're angry, they're unavailable. Okay, these are the cues that someone who's separation sensitive has had this triggered. Okay, and if this is how they're acting, this says to me that, okay, well, these people, there's something going on. They're not getting what they want out of this relationship. Okay, so they're trying to change their tack. So they're not getting the positive, so they're going negative, and they're trying to overcome that. And this is what's going to affect their actions there as well. Okay, so their self-representation, okay, they feel needed. Okay, they're always available. That's what they think, even when you call them and they don't answer the phone. Okay, but oh, you know, but I got back to you. You know, they're feeling that they're protective, they're caring, they're supportive. That's what they're trying to do. Okay. The negative one is that sometimes they'll feel, if they can't help you, they feel hopeless, they feel helpless, they feel abandoned, they feel without resources. Now you go, what do you mean? You know, you've got this and you've got that, but they just don't see it. Okay, that's when they're in a negative mindset there as well. Okay, so the primary dilemma: I can't be myself and truly expect connection. Okay, if I'm myself, I'm going to be abandoned. Okay, the unspoken demands, in this case, intense pressure to feel rewarded. To be rewarded, for neediness, helplessness, and incompetence. Okay, so they're the things where it comes into, oh, I just can't do this, you know, can you just show me what to do? And can you just do it for me? Okay, these are the things that are coming out there. They feel helpless. Okay, they need you. Okay, that's going to keep you close. Okay, if they don't do that and they don't need you, so this is where it could come into that, you know, are they sort of using this to sort of keep you close there as well? And this is where you need to decide, okay, no, they can do it. And you've got to get back to, okay, yep, well, you know, but you can do this. And going through that sort of thing there and trying to talk them out of it there as well. Okay, extroverts, okay, they're likely to fight your battles for you for others, okay? Not actually helping, possibly enabling the abuse to continue. They can come in and be the saver, you know, the cannon fodder. It's like, oh, yeah, just let me deal with them. I'll take the abuse, okay, because I can take it. I don't need to be supported. You just do what you do. You know, I'll be the, you know, let me take the fire for you. You know, that's part of them wanting to be the victim. Okay, so introverts tend to be more supportive. You know, warm hugs. Everything's okay. You know, they're giving you what they call ruinous rapport, not the radical candor that you would expect from someone that is actually going, look, you know, this is the problem. Okay. This is what's actually going on. This is the dose of reality. Okay, these ones are going to be no, it's okay. You can do anything you want. You just got to do this, and I can help you with that. Okay, so that's where the introverts have already got a plan in their head as to how they're going to do it, because they're having this conversation. How do I get this person to do it? Whereas the extroverts tend to just come out with stuff and everything else. Okay, so that's where it's better off. They go, oh no, I'll do it, because they can do and say things, and then they're just used to doing that, and then they come and they get attacked. But it's then they're willing to engage the conversation there as well, okay? But that may not actually be a good thing, and they're probably going to overstep the mark where they're going to take it into abuse, and two wrongs don't make a right. So someone's abused you, they come in as a savior, then they abuse them, and then that person that abused you becomes the victim, and then someone else comes in and saves them, and then it's a vicious cycle where it just turns into a big issue with a whole network that you're in there as well. Okay, so that's where the problem comes in with people saving it, and some of them will think that people will think that it's kind of like taking away your independence, and there's some people that they just want to do it for themselves, but separation sensitive can't separate from that idea, and if you don't need them to help or need them to do it for you, then you're going to go away. Okay, so this is where, in this case, that's where it's looking at when you're dealing with someone that's appearing as separation sensitive. This is where it comes into, okay, how are they going to be useful to you? And as long as they know that you are of use to them, they're going to be fine, okay? And they're going to let you do it. They're going, oh, well, you should do this and that sort of thing. But it's about managing them and getting a productive relationship happening there as well, okay? So that's separation sensitive.